Okay, Sagittarius, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to do this one, but I think this is like the third or fourth time. I don't know what's going on with my phone here and my internet, but something just occurred which kind of threw things off. So I'm going to go back in. Can't find the video, so I'm just going to redo and we'll just go from there. So for the most part, this just feels like kind of a you do you month. Sagittarius for the month of February. You're all in different timelines. It's a general read. It doesn't speak to all of you. Just know that the energy is a little more fluid, can speak a little further out because you're all making decisions at different times of the month or the week. And certainly your energies will be more fluid and may project into for future months as well. But anyway, what I see here overall is you're kind of nursing a wound. There's some sense, and I'm not trying to minimize it, but it does look like there's been some conflict, there's been some heartbreak. I feel like you're in a pulled back mode at this point. It doesn't feel like you're in the space of wanting company. I feel like you are just trying to deal with a situation that's been heartbreaking, but like I said, could be Libra or an air sign here that's coming in as well. But it just feels like you're really dealing with it from a logical perspective. You're just trying to, like I said, you do you at this time. So you're kind of preparing for maybe some of the legalities in a situation. For some of you, this is a heartbreak in terms of a connection. Others, it may be more impactful as in a long-term commitment. And still others, it could be more specific to a connection in a business scenario. But either way, it's impacted you and there's been some conflict and it's left you heartbroken. You're still in a space of recovery and healing. Still a lot yet to be revealed here. I don't see any specific answer for what you're dealing with at this point in February because it feels like you're just processing things. So you're mulling things over, weighing one thing against the other, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I do feel like you have the upper hand in the situation. A lot of the cards speak to making a wise decision based on all the factors involved. However, sorry guys, my throat. However, even though I'm saying that, I don't feel that you have all the answers here in this read. It feels like a lot of the information is still yet to be revealed. So you are in a bit of a disappearing mode. I think that if there was a conflict with somebody else, and I do feel like you would be the one that's kind of pulling away and sort of reevaluating, reassessing, and trying to make a decision, whereas the other party may be still reaching out or trying to communicate, although at this point it still feels like a lot of this is just you. A lot of the energy is just you trying to self-preserve, as the cards below. I don't know if you can see that frustration and preservation. I did pull them after like 40 times with all the repeated videos that I did. So hopefully this is going to amount to something here and I don't have to redo it. But either way, I think you're trying to rebalance a situation that caused you some conflict. And so right now there's kind of a sense of compromise, detached, impartial, objective sort of energy going on here. I don't feel like you're adhering to the system of doing something, like you're adhering to the rules about how a situation might operate and what should be happening versus what's not happening. Like you're really taking responsibility for the situation, ownership about making a decision here. So you're taking a hard look at yourself is what I would say here, and what your needs are, and trying to find the balance in all of that. So it's a sense of, if there is a legal situation going on here, I still feel like you have the upper hand, although there's still some elements yet to play out that have not come to the surface yet. And so I'm also seeing that there is conflicts are being resolved in a more methodical way, and there will be sort of a fair judgment, although there's still some elements that are not quite known here. So I would be interested to see how things turn out when I do another read, maybe, or a future, like for the March period. But right now I feel like your heart's been broken. For some of you, it's going to resonate on a relationship level. So that contract feels like it's been challenged in some way, some kind of marital distress, if it's in that along that line. But I feel like there is some distance here. And again, it feels like the parties are sort of both kind of, one in particular, you, I would say, in this read, seems to be doing a lot of suffering and and analyzing things, but doing it from a committing yourself fully to weighing the pros and cons out. So concentrating really on you this month, I would say. I mean, you don't have enough information really, I would say, to see your way clear through this, because it looks like with the moon energy and that high priestess and even the overriding energy of you still being in retreat mode, even though you're weighing things out, it still feels like there's an energy of, yes, I'm looking after my well-being right now. I'm just relaxing because I've had a period of, you know, injustice in some way, but and some hurt, but I'm seeking enlightenment, but I'm not quite there because the moon card doesn't have all the answers yet. It's a little bit of light, although it's almost like it's not fully illuminating the way. So it's like you have half truths. Part of this might be you still adding in your own, level of bias in a situation. So looking at the situation from, one perspective versus how it really is, because the moon card is a bit of an illusion. However, there is still some light that's starting to come in here, and you are still deep in the process of trying to figure it out, especially with the Four of Swords as well as the High Priestess. So I feel like you will recognize, that deeper meaning or the reason why something has happened, whatever this new direction is you're a little bit confused about. It feels like you're still in a place of processing what is the best idea, or what is the best move, what is the best forward momentum, and the choice that I would need to make, and able to not be at this standstill point or not be in this victim consciousness, that kind of thing, because it's kind of being in a rut energy, but it's a productive pause. So let's put it that way. It's not energy where you are unsure. It's like you're just in the space of, I need to ask myself all the questions and able to create this balance, and that's where things are at. The fact that we do have the Justice card out here is a card of preparation as well. So again, like I said, it's kind of a cause and effect card. So you're sitting here trying to be impartial and compromise regarding the situation so that you can make a decision. But I don't see the decision here yet. You're just still in the process of balancing everything out. There's also something here, and again, it could be a contract in terms of business work, in terms of a long-term relationship that's been challenged here or disconnected. It's hard to say really at this point where things will go, because there's too much that's still unknown, especially with the High Priestess following that heartache. So it's almost like there's a few other moves that have to take place before you can really feel assured in realizing whether you're going to stay neutral, because right now you're in neutral zone, but because you're asking yourself all the questions. But I feel like you're going to be moving into more of a fuller understanding once you come out of this period of deep introspection, because the hermit, or sorry, the High Priestess is still that card of trying to wait for the downloads. It's trying to look for the potential in a situation, but you're doing it from a very detached point of view. So again, you're kind of playing the waiting game a little bit, which is a productive pause. It's not for, it's not because it's the wrong thing to do. It's what you need to do at this point, is to pull back, be a little secretive, and I feel like that's what you're doing, because you're probing beneath the surface to get the answers to those deep questions. You're being your own counsel here. I feel like you're very self-reliant, and you're using your rational mind to figure something out. So you're focusing on your intuition, focusing on yourself, and weighing out, like I said, the pros and the cons of a situation, listening to your body, what feels right, what doesn't feel right, and you're really starting to question some of the things that about maybe the decisions that you've made, as well as it looks like it's more focused on you than another person at this point, because like I said, there's not a lot here that tells me what's going on the other side of things, because it just feels like there's not enough for you to make a decision yet. So to reveal the path, to reveal the way, you're open and receptive, but I just don't feel, but there's distance around the heart space. So I feel like you are kind of operating from a mysterious sort of space right now, because you're not feeling like you want to come forward yet. So to maybe communicate. So like I said, it's kind of a productive pause, self-preservation, and of course the cards that I pulled for advice were exactly that. Frustration. Your frustration is not wasted energy if it is channeled positively to create a better outcome for yourself. Embrace frustration and work with it, not against it. And then we also have preservation. So reevaluate this battle you're engaged in. A hasty retreat may be in order. Self-preservation may be the only thing salvageable. So it doesn't feel, like I said, like there's enough here for you to really make a decision on. The fact that we we have the Four of Cups could indicate that you're bored with a situation, you're restless within a contractual situation, or there's dissatisfaction there. But I just feel like you're looking within to try to connect with yourself, to figure out what it is that you want. You're trying to figure out what you want. And that's why the moon only reveals, the emotions that are coming to the surface. So they're not at the surface yet. There's a lot that's still sort of being worked at with that Four of Cups. Because you have to really figure out what it is that you want from a situation. Like, what is it that you desire? So that's where you're stepping back, productive pause, reassessing your goals, weighing out the pros and cons. So that's what I have for you for the month of February. Keep moving forward, and I will do another read as soon as I can. Hopefully that give you a little bit of insight as to at least where you're at, which I'm sure is kind of where things are. Maybe I should do one more card, because that, again, didn't really give any specific. Okay, let's do that. For those that stayed, you get that little extra card. Okay, this is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Sorry, guys, my throat every time I start talking too long, doing too many reads for me. Anyway, Queen of Moon Oracle. What does Sagittarius need to know to deal with this situation? What do they need to know to deal with this situation? Actually, I want to take two. Okay, blossoming and fruition. So there is clearly something that's going on here. You just have to wait it out. Be a little bit patient, because this situation has yet to, I'm going to pull these away so it doesn't distract. This situation has yet to bring about all the answers. I'm going to read from the book on this one, because this is not a deck I use frequently enough to have down, but anyway, the Harvest Moon card, which is this one here, does speak to springtime is likely where things will start to come out. But there is some kind of a planting of a project or a seed of something that is something that will help you to bring about an achievement. So it's been very hard worked for. You're trying to put in a lot, actually, in terms of time. I don't know that it specifically relates to maybe this read. Maybe it does for you. But it talks about sacrificing something, enable for you to bring about what it's almost like a Seven of Pentacles energy, sacrificing something and really focusing on your body to figure things out. So a lot of mention of focusing on the body, and to take care of it, or you'll be ill. So for some of you, you might actually be quite unwell at this time. So, but either way, the card of blossoming, sorry, is also something that you need to know about. And this is where don't give up, because you actually have planned for this, and they do consecutively, like one leads to the other. So one does speak to planting the seeds, but you're in a downtime of healing. But there's also something here that talks about, people around you might be jealous of your success. It might be where there's the conflict, but you can mark your victory. Don't give up. You planned for this. It talks about it is a time of blossoming. The planting of the seeds, physically or metaphorically, is going to blossom into something that you intended. And you shouldn't give up, because you've invested quite a bit into this. And right now, fear is the thing that's preventing your flow. It could be fear of success, fear of change, fear of what people think, whatever that is for you, but it will be something that ends up being worthwhile. So remain hopeful, because right now you are still working, you're processing the thoughts. You're processing the situation, and you're trying to, again, pros and cons and how to deal with the situation going forward. You don't have all the information yet, but there is something that's buzzing around you. You just have to be grateful for what you have right now, and know that the words that the cards indicate are, I feel no fear. So if that's any help to you, hopefully that does give you a little bit of insight. Don't have any fear going forward, or at least try to keep it in check. Sometimes there's been some studies that actually talk about getting over fear by shifting your body. And maybe that is because there's so much mention to the body. As a reference here, it's getting out to do something that can shift your mindset, get you out of your head, basically. So a cold shower, gives you a time to separate yourself from your analytical mind as well, getting on a bike, although I don't know where you are in the world here, but there's snow where I am, so that may not be viable. But I mean, it's getting out and changing your view and doing something with your body that's more physically getting you activated. So that will be a solution for you. Anyway, keep moving forward. And if you have any questions in the comments, please make a reference and I will see what I can do to answer your resolve in either in the next read. But we'll figure it out. I'll try to do a little more for you, Sagittarius. I just do things as I can with the time that I have, but I will do them as randomly as I can. And so stay tuned. Keep moving forward.